with the three refuges. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with a few possessions and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be freed from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. And now we have the Heart Sutra, and we will recite that together. And it's unfortunate that we don't have Nathan here to do it today with his wonderful, wonderful voice. So you'll have to settle for my voice. I apologize in advance. The Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant peerless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna paramita. Gate, gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhisvaha. The Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Well, good morning again, Sangha. It's good to have you all here. I have given away all of my Vajras, Dorjes, bowls. I have to stop by the temple, the Buddha Boutique, and pick up some more because today what I've been using is a wine glass and a spoon as a bell. It works. So I'll be stopping this week by the Buddha Boutique to pick up some more supplies. Now, the title of today's Dharma talk comes from a work by William Shakespeare in his play Richard III, written in 1549. Now, the entire line goes as follows. Now is the winter of our discontent. That's the title of the Dharma talk. But the rest of the line is, here's the whole line in its entirety. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. Now, Shakespeare appears to be telling his readers, yes, we endure the discontent of winter. However, the English countryside will once again be made glorious during the summertime. And it's quite a nice visual when you think about it. Now, it's been a rather curious year in our world, in our country, in our state, in our Grand Rapids area, in the surrounding areas in which we live. With the pandemic, all of the political drama, and with it, of course, the onset of another Michigan winter. Kent and I were talking about it earlier. I am, there are summer people and there are winter people. I am definitely not a winter people. Okay, I am a summer people, sunshine, vitamin D, water sports, sailing, boating, all of that stuff, okay? But this season, however, seems to have brought with it a greater sense, for some reason, of discontent, depression, anxiety, as a culmination of all of the aforementioned things, plus all of the other emotion-producing events that we have individually, familially, and societally experienced. If that wasn't discouraging enough, even within our Sangha members, I have had expressed to me significant measures of discontent. Why do we have to talk about politics? Why do we have to talk about social justice and social issues? The Dharma teachers need to stop talking about all this extraneous crap and stick to the Dharma. We only want information that will help our practice. Everything else is BS. And yes, there's quite a lot more discontent where that came from Sangha members. But I think you get the point. Now, I was not scheduled to give the Dharma talk today. Isu was scheduled, the Venerable Isu, and she had some things come up, so I volunteered, but didn't start until Wednesday. And see, even Dan is saying right there in the chat, yes, quit with the politics, all right? Yes, thank you for your discontent, Dan. Now, I was struggling with this Dharma talk. And anytime I struggle with an issue in my practice, I do what my teachers, all of my teachers have always said to do. Amko, go sit with it. So I went to my cushion and I sat with it. And it was a very interesting meditation session because I found myself having an imaginary conversation with the Buddha, an actual conversation. I know that's a little bizarre, but that's me. Y'all know me. I can be a little bizarre from time to time. I was having this imaginary conversation with Shakyamuni Buddha about my own feelings of discontent about why Sangha members were so discontent. The conversation went something like this. So, Amko, how's it going? I'm a little frustrated right now, Venerable One. And why is that? Now, he had this ever so slight smile on his face, and that frustrated me even more. I hope you're not making fun of me. It just seems that no matter what we teachers or the board does, someone isn't happy about it. There's all this discontent in the Sangha, and I don't know what to do with it. And that is your responsibility because, well, it's my responsibility because I'm one of the 4 people in the temple that's responsible for the Sangha's spiritual well-being. I snapped, and I did snap in my mind. Who will take that responsibility if we don't? Ah, he said. You're still struggling with delusion and ignorance then. So my face turned beet red, and I sort of stutter. Well, what do you mean by that? Are you an enlightened being? Well, no, I can't say that. I consider myself to be enlightening, growing bit by bit in the Dharma as I understand it, growing in my practice through the vows that I've taken. Are you careless in your interpretation of the Dharma? Well, no. But I'm sure I make mistakes now and then. You understand the 4 Noble Truths? Yes, Venerable One, I do. And you understand the Noble Eightfold Path? Yes, Venerable One, I do. Amko, stop calling me Venerable One. I am a human being just like you and everyone else in the Sangha. Yes, sir. He frowned. Amko, did I teach that we are one body throughout beginningless and endless space and time? Yes, you did teach oneness. And did I also teach that we are all the same? I hesitated, wondering if perhaps it was a trick question. No, I don't recall in your teachings anything about sameness, only about oneness. That is true. I never taught about sameness because we are not the same, even from one moment to the next. We are constantly changing. We are of every color, race, creed, persuasion, size, age, and peculiarity. At the same time, we are one. There is no duality, only oneness. Yes, teacher, I can understand that. Did it not say in your Bodhisattva initiation ceremony, walking the path of the Bodhisattva is accomplished through the spirit and actuality of renunciation? Renunciation is an unsurpassable way of harmonizing body and mind with the Buddha way. When you give up attachments, you are free. You are Buddha. Well, I don't recall specifically, but I seem to remember that part. Then he said, here is my input for you because I don't give advice. Understand that life is suffering. Understand that it always has been and it always will be suffering. Throughout beginningless and endless time, life has been and always will be suffering. Understand that your ignorance and delusive thinking are a primary part of your suffering. You're not struggling with greed and anger, too, are you? No, I'm okay on the greed part. But sometimes my discontentment becomes anger. Okay. Sit with that then. In the meantime, remember that all those words you use in conjunction with the Noble Eightfold Path, the words right, good, and proper, only apply to you as an individual that is part of the one. Every other individual who believes in the Noble Eightfold Path has a personal responsibility to carry them out for themselves as they are enlightening. Yes, I know it's a moving target. We never stop evolving and growing, or not. So, Amko, get over yourself. You're not responsible for anyone but yourself. And if, as a Dharma teacher, you are teaching the one true Dharma, by which the way includes all issues, political, social, and familial. I even walked on to the battlefield one time to broker a truce between the Sakyas and the Koliyas, who were prepared to fight over the question of the waters of the Rohini. Once my words prevented King Ajatasattu from attacking the kingdom of the Vajis. I've talked about a myriad of issues. Parents and children, teachers and pupils, husbands and wives, relationships with friends, relatives, and neighbors, between employers and employees, between the religious and the laity, about poverty and crime. I've even talked about politics. There aren't a lot of issues I haven't addressed over time. So, you're worried about discontentment, personally and regarding the Sangha. Am I right? Yes, you are right. Then I will share the 4 virtues conducive to a layman's happiness. Sada, He should have faith and confidence in moral, spiritual, and intellectual values, which include political and social values. Sila. He should abstain from destroying and harming life, from stealing and cheating, from adultery and falsehood, and from anything that dulls the brain. Kaja. He should practice charity and generosity without attachment and craving for his wealth. And lastly, Pana. He should develop wisdom, which leads to the complete understanding of the Dharma and the destruction of suffering. It leads to the realization of nirvana. Now, please notice that I'm talking about each individual. You are responsible for you, and the other is responsible for themselves. It cannot work any other way. Got it? Yes, I've got it, Venerable One. He frowned. Now, it was a delightful conversation in my head, in my meditation. But as I sat with the conversation, I realized it truly was an accurate depiction of the Buddha way. It was an accurate depiction of the Dharma. It was an accurate depiction of the personal responsibility we each hold if we recognize our own inherent Buddha nature. There are no topics that he addressed that are not pertinent today. And there are no topics wherein the Dharma Council, the Board of Directors, and the Sangha members can abdicate themselves. You each have, as I have, that personal responsibility to be holders in the brain heart of the one true Dharma. We are each always personally responsible for our actions and our inactions, for our words and for our lack of words. There's a quote that I've shared in previous Dharma talks that's appropriate here once again. It comes from Dante's Inferno. And the quote goes as follows: "The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who during times of great moral crisis maintain their neutrality." The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. None of us gets off the hook if we are to walk the path of the Buddha. If you need to experience discontentment, experience it, but don't live there. If you need to experience ignorance, greed, and anger, experience it, but don't live there. Don't make that, it's a hotel. It's a place you stop and play. It's not a residence. Open your mind to all possibilities and all subjects, as the Buddha did. Know that suffering will always exist, as well as discontentment, but that you don't have to live there. You only need to accept life as it really is, in each moment, and stay to the best of your personal responsibility, moving along moment by moment on the Buddha's path. May you be well, may you be at peace, and may you experience joy in the moment. By the way, in case any of you doubt anything that I had to say, I refer you to, I have it here somewhere, the book, What the Buddha Taught by Walpola Rahula. I had it on my desk, now I don't know where it is. If you saw my desk, you would understand why. Walpola Rahula, What the Buddha Taught. Everything that I presented in the Dharma talk, including the issues that he covered with his quotes, are contained within that one piece of work. And I encourage that to anyone starting out in Buddhism. And if you don't have it, I would suggest you get one. We will end today with the closing gathas, beginning with the gatha of atonement. And we say together, for all unskillful action ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain.